Daniel, what do you think of Stipe's recent sort of public campaign to suggest you're dunking him and all that?
Man, it's weird. I don't get it. But I kind of like that he's being vocal because shit, maybe he should have before we fought the first time. We'd have made more money. He's just in his claims to warranting a rematch, but I'm not afraid of him. So the whole ducking thing kind of takes me by surprise. But I don't mind it. I don't mind him trying to build support. It's insane though because it's a man that had the heavyweight title for 2 years and people never truly took notice. But now that I'm fighting Derek Lewis, everybody seems to support Stipe. It's a weird thing. And I like Stipe. I think he's a great guy, but to say that I'm ducking you, I mean, I beat you in a round, you know? Beat you in a round. That's not a lie. It's not a false claim. He said he was beating me in the round, and maybe, but it was close. It's not like he was just washing me out. I mean, I was kind of getting started, you know? I lost the first round to Anthony Johnson both times we fought. I lost rounds to Alexander Gustafsson. I lose a lot of first rounds sometimes because I know I have 5. And again, that grind don't stop. I'm going to keep going.
You mentioned that you didn't make much money, but that was a hugely promoted fight, champion versus champion. Like, you can't tell us how much you made, but in comparison to some of your other fights, how well did that fight do for you?
I made a lot of money on the front end, right? When you fight a guy like Stipe, they don't just say, hey, fight Stipe, and then you go, okay, I'll do it for whatever fight first I'm just making. No, I made a lot of money on the front end. But on the pay-per-view side, we did okay. I mean, in today's climate, we did okay. But I mean, I know what a big one looks like. You know, I know what 900,000 looks like against John Jones. I know what 1.1, 1.2 million looks like against Brock Lesnar. I know what it looks like. So when I'm staring on the barrel of a 400, 425, I'm like, wow. If there's better out there, then why not see? Let's see what all this Derek Lewis hype is about. Let's see if people like him enough to not only follow him, but to want to watch him fight. Let's see. Let's see how many of these people and these fans that he gained on the night with Conor and Khabib that are going to continue to follow him. Let's see, because I don't know. So let's see.
DC, when you were near the cage with Khabib that night in Vegas, what were you saying to him, and what was that experience like? Was it just craziness?
You know, the crazy thing is we're fighters, so the initial reaction is like, oh my God, I'm going to go help my teammate. You know, I'm going to go fight. But then when I got out, I was like, wait a minute, what am I thinking? And so when I finally get to Khabib, he's like, he's going crazy. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen, honestly. Because here it is. Okay, I'll admit this. All right. For me, it sucks that it was like in front of all these people. But again, it was like a whole bunch of dudes just kind of fighting, acting crazy, right? It's like, what are you guys doing? It's like every city in the country, every Saturday in some freaking street bar or a club, this is going on. It just happened between a whole bunch of Russian guys and a whole bunch of Irish guys in front of millions of people. So for me, I had to kind of separate the idea that I was kind of laughing to like trying to go like, guys, we are probably in front of the biggest viewership we've ever had. So I walk over to Khabib and the tall guy, English guy, tall English guy, the UFC security guy.
Oh, Steve.
Steve and my guy with the black hair, shorter. Kenny. Stephen Kenny. That guy Khabib, right? Stephen Kenny got Khabib. Khabib's yelling. Ah! It's like, hey, Khabib. And then the guy, he sees me because the guy's like, DC just said. He goes, this is my Capitan. Let him talk to me. I said, yo. He goes, what? I go, what the fuck is going on? I go, what are you doing? He goes, I want my belt. I go, okay, just relax. He goes, just give me my belt. Because I guess Dad told me he wasn't getting his belt. So I go, come on, guys, take him back to the cage, let him get his belt, we'll get him out of there. So then we get back to the cage, and Dana comes over. And I'm like, hey, just give him his belt. He goes, I'm not giving him his belt. If I put this belt around him right now, he's going to start throwing shit. He goes, they're going to throw stuff into the octagon. He goes, it's going to get bad. So people are like, what are you talking about? Give me my belt. He's yelling, going crazy. And finally, I convince him and go, hey man, if they give you the belt, they're going to start throwing stuff at you. and it's gonna get ugly in here. And he goes, I go, we have to just go back to the back. And he's like, but where's my belt? I go, he'll give it to you in the locker room. Like, he was just solely focused on the belt at this point. I guess he had, done whatever he wanted to do, and now he just wanted his belt. So we leave, and we finally get him going back. And sure as shit, they start throwing stuff at us when we're walking out of the arena. And then when we get to the locker room, I asked him, I go, hey. He goes, yeah. I go, so what was the desired outcome there? I go, did you want to step on his head? Like, what did you want to do? Like, what in your mind were you wanting to accomplish? Were you going to drop kick him, double foot kick him? Like, what were you doing? He goes, brother, I don't know. I lose my mind. I said, I know you did. Sorry. It was funny. I thought it was okay. I mean, it sucked. He's going to get fined, but, whatever. It is what it is. It happened.
Were you surprised that it happened the way it did? Like, when Khabib went over the cage, like, Khabib real well. Were you surprised that he was capable of doing that after a fight?
No. Because one time I did him something and hurt his neck at practice, and they were about to kick my ass. And seriously, they all started standing up, and they were kind of surrounding me. Ask Sean Bunch. Bunch came over. They were about to get you. I said, I think so. It's like, those guys don't play around, man. It's like, they got up. They actually got up and I was like, hey, man, don't ever come in here and try to jump me. It's my gym, But they don't mess around, man. Khabib does not play around, and he is honestly the crown jewel of that circle. They love him, and rightfully so. We all do too. So when he felt that was happening and disrespectful, I mean, I just didn't know what was going to happen. But I know that during the build-up, he wasn't building a fight. He was just getting madder and madder and madder. And Conor's still just building a fight. So it just was kind of there on two different wavelengths.
Is there a difference between what Khabib did and what the other guys who jumped in the cage at Conor did? Or is it all just fisticuffs?
It's kind of all shit, but the reality is, like, the guy that punched Conor, that was bad, man. He shouldn't have been in there to do that. I can't condone that action. Conor hit Manop, the guy that fights in the World Series fight? Is it still World Series fight?
Yeah.
PFL? He's going to fight in that tonight, I think. He got punched on the cage, and he had a black eye. He had a black eye. So he came to practice on Monday. I go, hey, he's what? What, brother, what? I said, Conor-McGregor went upside your head, huh? He was mad at me because he had the biggest black eye. And Conor got him with a good one. On the side of the octagon, exhausted, he got him with a good one because Manap had a big old black eye. I said, Conor went upside your head, huh? He's like, brother, don't say this, please. And then Conor and Zubai were kind of fighting with each other. I mean, as you watch it more and more, they were fighting with each other. Conor hit him, Zuba hit him. So it was all bad. But I think ultimately the worst action was probably, I can't remember the dude's name anymore. Not Zub. It was the other guy. The other guy, I can't remember his name.
Oh, yeah.
He just kind of hit him. He didn't even really get him good, though. He hit him with his...
From behind.
Yeah, the guy. That was the worst action, I think. Everything else was a whole bunch of guys fighting.
It's funny that you're laughing about it, and we're all kind of having fun about it now. But at the time, it seemed like a pretty serious. People were saying it's a black mark on the sport. It's a black eye for the sport. What are your thoughts on that?
It's no black eye for the sport, man. We fight. That's what we do. We fight, and you got a lot of very smart, educated men in this game, but sometimes emotion drives the ship, and on that night, emotions drove the ship. This fight was kind of built in very bad place, right? Like it started with, it really started just kind of normal, like teammates talking about a potential fight between the two. Then Khabib slaps the kid, right? Because again, he's like, yo, don't say this or don't call me whatever you called me, because it was blurred out. He smacked him. Conor, in defense of his friend, says, no way, you're not going to corner my guy. Another action that is not, I don't commend him throwing the hand trap, but him wanting to approach Khabib because what they did to his friend, that's fine, but it's still a bad action. That action earned a title shot, right? Essentially earned a title shot. Then it just kept growing and growing and growing, and it kind of ended where it started. It ended in shit, it started in shit, and that's just the way it is.
You feel this has ended?
No, far from it,
Yeah.
man. I don't think this is over. I don't think it's going to be a brawl again, but I don't think that there's ever going to be friendship between those two groups of people. And that's okay. Everybody doesn't have to be friends.
Yeah, were you surprised that Khabib was able to like taper? You talked about how pissed he was, the emotion that he had. Like he didn't show it during the fight. He was able to control it, and then he let it loose after the fight.
But are you sure though? I mean, when you're having real, like, are you sure he was tapering his emotion?
Yeah.
You're beating the shit out of the guy, right? You're on top of him beating him. What could feel sweeter than the guy that you dislike the most? You get to punch in the face, right? You heard him. Let's talk. I mean, come on, you want to talk? Let's talk now. As he's pelting him in the face. That's not tempering your emotions. I mean, it's just in our work, in our line of business, you get to fight to cause and settle your issues, right? And that's what happened.
Could he have ended that fight earlier, you think? Or do you
No.
kind of dragged it up?
Conor actually fought well. I mean, I thought it was a testament to his toughness, his preparation, that he was able to defend takedowns at the level that he could, and also to be able to survive on the ground. I mean, he was doing a good job of creating enough space to not take big damage. And then in the second round, when it got real ugly, he didn't turn over and quit. So yeah, hats off to him.
Should there be a rematch?
I mean, financially, yes. But if you're Team Conor, I mean, I don't know why you would think it's going to play out different. Because, again, I thought he fought well. I thought that he did a good job of defending takedowns. I don't know how much more he can learn to change the outcome. There's a big gap in terms of what happens between those two on the ground. And it would take so much time to try to change it.
What do you think about this Khabib-Floyd talk?
I think it's insane. Khabib better not do that. I mean, unless he's just going to get paid, because teammate or no teammate, he's getting beat up by Floyd Mayweather. And he's too tough to quit. So he'll just get beat up for 12 rounds. And getting beat up for 12 rounds is not...
And if you like this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our channel, Boxeo Mundial, la meca del boxeo y MMA.